Hi everyone. Hope you all are good. We are here for weekly math. You can find all the lessons on aclsstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password as provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab. Scroll down to grade 3 math and then click on view all lessons. There you can find a list of the chapters. You're going to start with the chapter multiplication skill builders. The lessons we're going to cover today are multiply by 5, multiply by 6, multiply by 7, and multiply by 8. So please make sure you have your notebook and pencils so that you can note down the important examples and definitions as well. Here I'm on grade 3 math. Chapter we're on right now is multiplication skill builders. Let's just start with the lesson that is multiply by 5. 8 times 5. You need to count a table of 8 until 5. So 8 times 5 makes 40. Basically, the multiplication is same as addition, repeated 8, 8, 8, 8, and 8. Just add 8 5 times. That equals the same 40. 8 times 5 is 40. Let's just start with the test questions, but for the smaller numbers. That's 5 times 4, which is the correct option. Restart your computer. 5 times 4. You can add 5 4 times. That is 20. Option number 1 is the correct option. 5 times 4 is 20. Five times 5, you can add 5 times, or you need to count the table of 5 until 5. But now it's time to learn the multiplication table, right? 5 times 5 is 45 it is. Option number 2 is the correct option. Nine times 5 equals 9 times 5 equals 45. Option number 1 is the correct option. 8 times 5 equals 40. It is 8 times 5 is 40. 6 times 5, which is the correct option. 30 it is. 6 times 5 is 30. Option number 1 is the correct option. 5 times 6. 5 times 6 is 30. Option number 1 is the correct option. Very good. Two times 5, which is the correct option. 2 times 5 is 10. The correct option is option number 2. 10 it is. Five times 9. 5 times 9 is very good. 45 it is. Option number 1 is the 3 times 5 is the correct option. 3 times 5 is 15. Option number 1 is the correct option. Five times 8 is 48 is option number 2 is the correct word. 4 the correct option. Twenty it is. We are done with the lesson. Let's just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is multiply by 6. Now we're going to learn how do you multiply by 6. 4 times 6 to computable of 4 until 6 or 6 until 4. So which is the correct option? Four times 6 is 25. It is 10 times 6, which is the correct option. Ten times 6 equals 60. It is 10 times 6 is 60. Option number 1 is the correct option. 6 times 5, which is the correct option. That is 36 times 5 equals 30. Option number 2 is the correct option. Six times 4. Six times 4 is 24. Option number 1 is the correct option. 7 times 6, which is the correct option. Seven times 6 is 42. Option number 1 is the correct option. 6 times 6, which is the correct option. 6 times 6 is 36. Option number 2 is the correct option. One times 6. One times 6 equals 6. The correct option is option number 1. 8 times 6 is 48. Option number 2 is the correct option. 8 times 6 makes 48. Very good. 2 times 6, which is the correct option. Two times 6 is 12. Option number 1 is the correct option. Very good. 6 times 1. One times 6 is 6. Option number 2 is the correct option. 5 times 6. Five times 6 is 30. Option number 1 is the correct option. Also, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. Okay, we are done with the lesson. Let's just move on to next lesson. Okay, let's just move on to next lesson. lesson, that is multiply by 7. 9 times 7, which is the correct option. Nine times 7 makes 63. Let's just start with the test questions. 3 times 7, which is the correct option. Three times 7 makes that is 21. 3 times 7 makes 21. Option number 2 is the correct option. Seven times 4 equals 7 times 4 is 28. Option number 2 is the correct option. 10 times 7, which is the correct option. 10 times 7 makes 70. It is the correct option is 70. Option number 2 is the correct option. Eight times 7, which is the correct option. 8 times 7 makes 8 times 7 makes 56. Option number 1 is the correct option. One times 7. Very good. 7 times 1 is 7. Option number three is the correct option. Five times 7 is 35. It is 5 times 7 is 35. Four times 7 equals. That is 28. Option number three is the correct option. 7 times 3, which is the correct option. Seven times 3 equals 21. Option number two is the correct option. 9 times 7, which is the correct option. 9 times 7 is 63. Option number two is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself every day. Let me just move on to the next lesson. The next lesson is multiply by 8. Let's just start with the lesson. 8 times 6 makes 48. It is. Let's just start with this. 8 times 1 equals 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 0. Whatever number it is, if you are multiplying 0, the answer is 0. 8 times 0 is 0. 8 times 3 equals 8 times 3 is 24. Option number 1 is the correct option. If you don't know the table of 8, but still you know the table of that multiplication table for 3. You can do 3 times 8. That is exactly same as 8 times 3. 10 times 8 equals 80. It is 10 times 8 is 80. 4 times 8, which is the correct option. 8 times 4 is 32. It is option number 1 is the correct option. 5 times 8, which is the correct option. 5 times 8 is 40. Option number 1 is the correct option. 2 times 8, which is the correct option. 16 it is. 8 times 2 is 16. Option number 1 is the correct option. 3 times 8, which is the correct option. 8 times 3 equals 24 it is. 8 times 6, which is the correct option. 8 times 6 equals 48. Option number 1 is the correct option. 8 times 5, which is the correct option. 8 times 5 equals 40. Option number 2 is the correct option. 8 times 4, which is the correct option. 8 times 4 is 32. Option number 1 is the correct option. 8 times 10, which is the correct option. Very good. 80 it is. Okay, we are done with the lesson. So we were working on grade 3 math. The chapter we're working on is multiplication skill builders. The lessons we have covered today are multiply by 6, multiply by 5, multiply by 6, multiply by 7, and multiply by 8. So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons you just did. That is your homework until next session. So if you need more help with any of the lessons, you can simply click on the live chat button. Tutors are available there to help you. Or either you can write down the question in the chat box. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. No questions? No questions? Okay, then that's all for today. See you in the next